Alright, welcome back for another Power of Destruction video against a neutral dragon. We are now in episode 8 and we just got around 526 million points today. And today there's gonna be a lot of information here, and I do recommend that you watch it as well. Well, I always recommend that you watch it because I'm gonna be sharing. I've been trying a lot of things. I did some tweaks and I used new artifacts basically. So if you want to see how effective those are, and also the golem part, I found the answer wherein in some cases you can't burst it, and this is all gonna be answered in this video. So both runs will be featured today, so I do hope that's fine because this might get very long. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at run number 1. Let's just take a look at the replay real quick just to kind of show you some of the new things that I noticed and some of the things that I'm currently doing right now, and especially in the golem part. It's a pretty standard move right here for a Moonshadow user. My goal is always to be able to clear this fast initially and cast those Moonshadow debuff. The 3 stacks, I mentioned that in episode 7, so just in case you haven't watched that yet, feel free to watch it. So I was able to do a shadow step there, although I'm not sure if that's gonna be worth it because we were not able to do the Moonshadow trick shared by Nato. Here, just continuing on, we already have an ult thanks to the power gauge gain from Maylin. Wow. Okay, so we are still trying to look for a good timing on the shadow step before we throw that ult, and this might be it, but no, I don't think so. Reset, so it's okay. Just so we're just timing it here. Again, guys, I mentioned in episode 7 that this is not a race, but a game of timing, especially if you're using Moonshadow. Other weapons, I am not sure. The gameplay might be different. So this is the only thing I have, so sorry. Okay, then there you go. Wow, I already it's already starting to become muscle memory. This is a very minimal repeat run. Just kinda want to pause on that here because this is so OP. So here, okay, hold on. So we were able to do an extreme evasion here, right? So did a shadow step. And because our Moonshadow is now A3, once you shadow step the enemy, you're gonna be able to inflict that Moonshadow debuff or the Lunar Blessing. We only have 2 stacks right now, but this happens already on shadow step. And then afterwards, you can even cast your Moonshadow again for another 3 stacks. So basically, you're gonna have 2 times worth of the Lunar Blessing debuff once you reach that Moonshadow A3 and be able to do the shadow step. And that's a lot. That's like 45% damage received debuff here. And look at that. We were able to pull off an ult afterwards. Okay, so this is the important part that I want to share with you guys. Let me just pause it a bit. I have watched and I have played a lot of runs of Power of Destruction over the past 1 to 2 days, and just to kind of observe it up to this point, and I have pretty much confirmed. And let me know if you guys can confirm it as well, that it was actually Libora's debuff that's helping to burst this golem. This is just a 15% damage received debuff, but it's kind of weird actually. But once that is casted on the golem, he just basically receives a ton of damage in compared to without that. I actually just noticed this now because someone asked it in the comment section. He asked why he's not able to burst golem. I have always thought that it was about the skills, availability, the cooldowns. Really, it was this thing right here, the Libora debuff, that's actually doing that. So it's, I'm not sure why. Maybe there's some kind of a damage reduction cap on the golem, and then once it gets reduced by a certain point, he gets a good amount of damage, because that's supposed to be 15% damage received only, and that should not actually turn that damage into. Okay, so let's just take a look at that. This is a good one. So the hand's about to die. As you can see, I have mentioned this in episode 7. This line provides a lot of space to prepare for that shadow step. As you can see, I run towards the end. So I don't see anyone doing this actually. I just realized this, and I just started incorporating this tactic within my gameplay. So bam, and then free shadow step, Moonshadow again, 3 seconds worth of Moonshadow, and you can use your skills and then cast another Moonshadow from the skill. Ooh, this is OP. This is OP. Okay, this line again, but no hand is about to die. So the problem there though is if the hunters are actually still could not burst the hands. Okay, here again. Look, once you cast that red, even if it gets cancelled, some of it are still gonna proceed, and then you can use the Moonshadow again. And then you can use the extreme evasion shadow step again, and then you're gonna be able to cast that Moonshadow debuff A3. What the hell? This one right here, this is what we're always looking for. So we're now starting to pay attention to that to improve our gameplay. Okay, and that's the time for ult because there's a shadow step debuff. Oops. Okay, so we're just waiting for another chance here. I'm not sure. I probably, yeah, I think I failed here because oh my god, that was yeah, it's okay. You could have had a shadow step there and like deal a lot more damage, but we're not able to do it. So we got 302 million on the neutral dragon with our main lineup. Alright, so let's take a look at some of my adjustments from the previous episode. So here are the stats right now. We have 22k attack, precision is 91%, crit rate is a bit low because I was testing something this time, and crit damage is 174%, penetration 15, damage increase 13%, and dark damage, not sure if that works. Again guys, Painblade mentioned that this elemental damage only works when the enemy has the weakness. Okay, so if it's dark damage, it will only work if your damage is color purple or violet, something like that. I haven't tested that yet, but since Pain mentioned that, we trust Pain, so let's just leave it at that for now. And for my artifacts here, so this time around we have been testing this, chose to use this now for the increase 15% damage in the break stat. So I haven't tested this item in particular because it's very hard to test it on the dragon because the damage discrepancy is gonna be very, very low. So sometimes it might cause some inconsistencies there, but I just went all in on that because, as you have watched in our previous videos and from our testing, we have already confirmed, this is pretty much 100% confirmed, that sequence explosions vertical arcs increase damage dealt to targets in break state by 150%. Here, the heroic one is working, and cutting rush increase damage to break state by 150%. Heroic is also 150% is also working. The reason why I went all in on that is because here I just noticed this. I feel like an idiot for not noticing this earlier, like literally just a few days ago. Here in the strategy section, when a body part is destroyed, you will no longer be able to target that part, okay? Those are the hands. You can target the enemy's head when it enters the break state, okay? I didn't know that it was actually mentioned here. I'm not sure if you guys read this, but I don't. I don't usually read these kinds of stuff. Well, I do read them sometimes when a problem arises, but if none, then I usually just skip this part. When the break state ends, you can target the other remaining body parts. So here, this pretty much confirms that the head part really is a break state. So still, I'm not sure about the Huntsman. Haven't tried that yet. My Huntsman is still at A0. So if you guys have some information on the Huntsman, whether or not the destroy effect really works or not, please leave a comment. Let us know. Let's help each other out with more information so that all of us can achieve high scores here in the Power of Destruction. And also, I just got my Moonshadow 3, of course. Oh my goodness. This is like a cheat. My god, once you master the shadow step on the head, oh my god, this is insane. This, because it immediately stacks the lunar eclipse after you hit the head with the shadow step, for instance. So that's gonna be 3 seconds, I think, and then after 3 seconds you can cast the Moonshadow again, the skill. So pretty much you can do a 6 seconds duration of lunar eclipse. So that's how insane it is. Really insane. Okay, so for the stats right now, pretty much the same, just attack and some precision to actually just do this. So my crit rate got affected because I was testing this, but since I already know and I already saw how much damage this break state actually does, I have an idea already. I actually just went for it because the other option will be to use this one, the attack percent increase, which is gonna be, I believe, is gonna be much weaker. Well, kind of depends because break state only works on the head, but in cases where your hunter teams is actually strong enough to clear those hands, you can actually focus more on dealing damage towards the head part only. And even if I use something else, I don't think it's gonna matter that much when it comes to breaking those hands, because most of the time it's gonna be just the DPS hunters, except of course if your hunters are still in the lower progression side of things, which is in that case you gotta focus on clearing those hands first. So it still depends on a case-to-case basis right now. If you can clear those hands fast enough using your hunters alone, then focus on the head. If you can't, then focus on the hands. So sometimes you gotta throw your ult on both hands so that you will be able to easily break it and so that you can target the head. But those usually happens to me as well, even now when I don't have a good lineup of hunters due to the elemental resistance. But I think overall that's pretty much the idea. Of course, ideas could change still as we get more information, but for now this is what I'm doing. So curse set, pretty much just to get some damage going. Long fights again, beast set, curse set, long fights, those are gonna shine. So for my hunters, nothing really changed here, just a couple of things and still the same attack, curse as well, beast, curse. Then I still can't, I'm still not transitioning to 8-piece set of the curse because that's too tough. That's too tough. I don't have the stats and I don't have the mats. So probably in 2 weeks time we're gonna be able to fully transition if we get lucky next reset. So my Libora is pretty much the same as well. So curse set, 2-piece, piece set, and then the stats are here. Some pretty decent attack, crit rate, critical hit damage, defense penetration damage use. This one, I've watched a lot of my replays and I have observed this like in detail. Confirm this, guys. The charm debuff is actually what's melting the golem. I'm not sure, maybe there's some sort of mechanics there or a threshold when it comes to the damage received. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't tested other debuff and skills yet, so now it turns out that Libera is actually more valuable than we expect her to be. All right, so for my main actually just switch this part, but this is the setup that I used. So garden set again to help out with the damage increase whenever Alicia casts the shield, and then I did not mess with the accessories anymore because I don't have much gold here and I don't want to spend anymore on that. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing right now. And again, just to mention this, guys, the reason why I'm using this lineup is because Libera also deals a good amount of damage. She is an attack-based unit, and Maylin is more on attack buff. So I do believe and I do feel like it is more balanced to do it this way than to add Saw, because then the other team will still have another shielder that can also benefit from the Guardian set. And also I think this lineup worked well because they are all wearing this, okay? These skirts, yeah. So they are very good when it comes to arachnid farming, right? At 60 HP. Just kidding, guys. So I think that's gonna be it for this lineup. I'm just gonna test this next time just to be sure, along with this pulverize. But pretty much, if that doesn't work, then let's just blame the devs because they let's just blame the devs because it was written here. So I'll trust the devs. But maybe if it doesn't work, then fuck it. So anyway, let's head on over to our second lineup. All right, so let's take a look at this run. This is gonna be our lineup. Let's forward it a bit here. This part, okay, here. So I'm still gonna be doing the same thing, and as you can see here, I positioned Saw and Cha over on one side, that just so they could burst the hand immediately. And as you can see here, guys, look at this, the grid buff from the new grid set. So this is one of the information that I want to share with you guys here, that even if the enemy has no shield, even if you're targeting just the normal monsters, anywhere, pretty much anywhere, you're gonna be able to stack those grid debuff. And I'm gonna show you one thing later, okay, about this. Very important. So let's continue this for now. And yeah, I think I remember what's gonna happen here. Yeah, I struggled with this one. I was trying to save my skill there, but okay. So there you go. There you go. Our favorite move. Let's go. So I'm not sure if there's a specific trigger there to be able to do that. And nice timing as well. As you can see here, our energy or power gauge management on Min paid off because the heavenly blessing was used exactly at the time we want it. And there you go, guys. Enhanced grid. There. So our Saw is using a 4-piece grid set here, and the damage increase as well from the shield guardian set. Later, we're gonna break down the items or the artifacts later on. So let's go on. I actually made a lot of mistakes here, but I kind of don't want to repeat this anymore. So there. Okay. damage increase. And our favorite, but why are you so slow? So our attempt failed because they got delayed, and that's the beauty of using Alicia in the lineup, because he can burst. She can burst quickly, especially at A5. Because Cha is more on a momentum based or ult based. Ooh, that's a clean hit, but I think one of the mistakes we did there. Let me just point this out real quick. So over here, okay. So Heavenly Blessing appeared here. I saw that. Then I was quite excited, but it got delayed there. So it, and then I used my Moonshadow. And then the mistake I did there was that I risked it and tried to do one cutting rush before I casted the ulti. And by the time I was about to cast the ult, the Heavenly Blessing actually disappeared. So that's a really greedy move from me. But guys, if you have A5 min and if you master this kind of gameplay, oh boy, that's gonna be a crazy amount of damage. I actually put min back again to the custom draws. I want to A5 min because, just for this purpose. And I already built Min's weapon there. Okay? So nice timing there. And also, just let me just pause this real quick just to kind of point out that this is where Chahi-In shines. If you can manage to time her ult on the head, that's good, because if her damage exceeds the HP of the hands, those damage, the damage that exceeded the HP will not be counted as points. So you kind of, if you want to maximize Cha's damage, it has to be always casted at the right time. Okay, whether a full HP hand or on the hand, much better would be on the head. So here, as you can see, it's very tanky. And we already discussed the Libor thing. So I casted my Moonshadow there. I'm not sure if it's related, but yeah, I mean, those debuffs are what's, I believe, are what's affecting the squishiness of the golem. Okay, so low HP hand, waiting for the right time, and unfortunately failed, but that's okay. Boom. Bam, 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 bam. We're actually dealing a good amount of damage with this lineup. Once Saw and the Cha catches up on advancement, I think they're gonna be pretty equal with the Alicia lineup. Boom. Uy. Wow. I forgot that. So nice timing there. Let's just take it real quick. Okay, so you gotta memorize the mechanics here, or the movements. Or see, as you can as you saw there, as soon as I noticed that he's gonna do that attack pattern, I immediately went for the attempt, and boom, Moonshadow into an amplifying draw. Let's just take a look at how much damage I was able to deal there. Pause. From 151 million to how much? 176. Well, some damage received. Whoa, I think that's gonna be, yeah, I think that's gonna be big, because there's a punishment as well, plus a lot of buffs and debuffs from Cha, from buffs from the grid set. Maybe. Wow, I think Saw is gonna be very good. Ooh, nice timing as well, because we just got the Heavenly Blessing effect. Although ideally we want to throw an ult here at this point, but can't risk it because that's already a shadow step. And there. Alright, so that's a good run. Decent, pretty decent run. I can repeat it, probably improve it a bit, but I think this is already good. The Alicia lineup is at around 200, 300 M, 80 M difference for an A3 Cha and an A1 Min. I think that's good considering that, and probably pretty even lineup there. All right, so let's take a look at the gears and the setup. Let's go. All right, let's start with Saw. We just got an A5 Saw. I think that's why our damage improved a lot there. And the weapon is still at A2, but once we make this an A5, oh my goodness, I think this is gonna be very, very strong. And the stats are here: 36k HP, crit rate 46, 138 crit damage, pretty decent, guys. On Saw, you actually don't have to chase a lot of crit damage, because once you get your high advancement plus your high advancement weapon, it's gonna you're gonna have a lot of critical hit damage. So that's gonna be not well, you want to have those, but not the highest priority at this point, okay? Because this is already around 140, I believe, 140% crit damage as you reach the 20 stacks, which is pretty easy. So the skills 7, max 7. Wow, I want to A5 my weapon soon, but I chose to make a weapon for Min before that. So okay, for the artifacts, here's what's changed. The grid set, ooh, working out really well there, especially when paired with Cha. Crit rate 10, crit damage 15%, and it stacks pretty fast, and the duration is permanent, right? That's a huge buff. Instead of putting some like damage here, but you can do that as well. You can actually use a curse set on Saw to get some damage, because the curse set is damage increase, not the usual piece set or attack. But this will help the team more, and also will increase Saw's damage herself. Okay, and we have a Guardian set. Again, when she casts shield, she gives damage increase to the entire party. Although there's some gap here, I think if she casts another shield within the period that the shield is, the damage that buff is still up, I think it's not gonna recast. So just, or maybe if there's still a shield and then you casted the shield, there's not gonna be a damage increase. So something like that. I haven't really checked that yet, but this one works for sure. You can see it in the replay. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think this is big right now. This is big, especially when trying to clear hard dungeons with extreme penalty. Oof. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I think for a DPS type, you can actually go for this one, like a sub DPS, this one, and then probably make a curse set here, a 4/4 set, because if you're not gonna be a breaker, because what this adds is another crit rate and crit damage, which is also good, looking at it at the team perspective. But if you just want to like make her super DPS, maybe adding a bit more damage from the curse set would be a good idea. Plus maybe you can add 2 curse set here, plus 2 crit rate from toughness, things like those. There's so much possibilities right now when it comes to the artifacts. And for Cha, I just used my Alicia gears here, there. Okay, 42 crit rate. Here are the stats. Nothing special, just your usual Chahe in with the beast and the cursed 2-piece set. And for Min, we used a destroyer set because, okay, guys. So the only reason that I use this is because I run it one time and the heavenly blessing was a bit out of timing, so I changed my gears up. Usually I use noble sacrifice here, so as you can, that's why you notice that the first heavenly blessing was casted at the time we want it to be casted. So if not because of this, and this, then that probably wouldn't have happened. And also, since we already use the means weapon now, we can't use the book anymore for faster power gauge acquisition. So that's kind of affected as well. So kind of compensate somewhere else. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys learned a lot from here as well. Thank you so much for watching. And guys, just in case, I know there are a lot of great content creators out there, just in case your support is still free, please do support me in the SLA content creator program. I would really appreciate it. That would help me a lot. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.